Hi everyone. So I've been playing with shapes. I'm in the Google Drawings. If you've never experimented with Google Drawings, it's great for your students to create interactive posters, if you want them to create free-form graphic organizers, or just to give them an outlet for more creativity. Google Drawings is a great tool. Free through the Google Apps for Education. So you can see here that I've been playing around with some different shapes. So in Google Drawings, you have access to all of the shapes through this little drop-down menu. You can see that there is a wide variety of different types of shapes that you can create. You can also combine shapes together in order to make original, logos and things like that, like they were talking about in our readings. Arrows, your different kinds of arrows. Some of them are pretty interesting, like this guy, for instance. It's pretty interesting. When you're in the Google Drawings, this blue color is the default color, and then you can change the color of your shapes by coming over here, and you can see how they have every color. You can also come into the custom colors, and this is where you could pick the hue that you want, and then you can also adjust its saturation. You can adjust its transparency. That's what this is, transparency. What that does is allows for you to then build on things. So like my circle is behind my arrow because I made it, and you can see how interesting that looks. So you could really have a lot of fun and really be original. Now if you're watching, you can see that Google also has given us a certain, like these guidelines. So these blue lines are showing me the distance between shapes. So I can try and make that distance the same if I'm trying to line things up. The red line is showing me my center line. And also when I created these shapes, you can see that it'll tell me when my shapes match up, the blue little brackets that appear. So this is telling me that my square and my triangle are exactly the same height and width, which is a really interesting thing, especially because then you can see how you could use these things in geometry or different math classes and things like that. So that's pretty cool. This shape down here is what Google calls a call out. So you can see here you have like your banners and your scrolls and then your different multi-sided little stars and your thought bubbles and your different speech bubbles. I like these little call out things because you can layer them and create this really cool effect. So for this one, it actually has a really crazy border on it, but I'm going to change it. And then I'm actually going to play around with these red colors. Because they've laid it out so neatly for us, it's really easy to find the colors that you want to work with without really having to look very hard. Alright, so just take that one a step up, and then I can actually copy that one and paste it, and then just make it slightly smaller by pulling in on these little blue boxes, and then again make it again a little lighter, and then I can create a text box and create something really cool for a project that I might be working on. If I make it yellow, pow, alright, I can turn the box and then really just start to play around with the positioning, and you can see how through Google Drawings you can really play around with the different shapes and create some really interesting visuals in whatever you're doing. This last shape is what Google calls an equation. So these are your different mathematical symbols and brackets. And again, you can play around with these just like you do with all of the other shapes. So I hope you found this interesting, and I'm looking forward to sharing more with you on my blog. One last thing that I wanted to share with you is a project that a student did. I had them create their own graphic organizers to compare to different characters from these different short stories that we were reading, and I really gave them liberty to do whatever they wanted to. And since we're talking about shapes, she actually created this graphic organizer, Hope, my little shining star, just simply using the different shapes that were available to her in Google Drawings. The background was created just by creating first a giant rectangle that covered the whole page, and then she created the illusion of ground by really stretching and distorting this star. If I pulled it back up for you, you would see that it's that same star that we've been looking at this whole time. And you can order the object, so she has it sent all the way to the back, but if I bring it forward you can see that it's on top. So she just sent it to the back, not all the way to the back. Now it's behind my background. And then she just stretched it out so that it would lay like it was flat on the ground and created this illusion of grass. So you could see how, you know, really creative students could get with this, or how you could create things for them that they couldn't then in turn, you know, interact with. So I hope this was informative for you. Thanks.